Okay, I'm back. I'm back in this thing. Welcome to the pipeline. Let's come on in here. Let's come on in here. Trying to get everything together, y'all. Um, so since I had y'all held up last night, like I was telling y'all before, I wanna go back to the beginning. I'ma let y'all come on in here while I get my stuff situated, y'all. Alright, let me see if it's gonna do it. If it's gonna act the way I need it to act. Okay. I think I'm good. Welcome to the pipeline, everybody. I'm back. If you in here, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Please feel free to jump into the live, into the conversation at any given time. This one right here gonna be a bit different. This gonna be a bit different. I did schedule it for 4 or 4:30. Um, it's been so much new information since the killer had got caught. I would say allegations anyways, because like I tell y'all all the time, half of this stuff we don't know if it's true or false. That's why I say pay attention to the content, pay attention to the content. Don't come over here talking all reckless on the side of your neck and you not paying attention to the words that are coming out of my mouth. These are strictly allegations. Everything that's public records is the proof. Only thing to me that matter is personal when it comes to the information I release. Shout out to the people in Columbus. They most definitely been solid in sending me some good information, emails. I had a couple phone calls with a couple people in Columbus. The thing with Boog case, she was loved. Like I say all the time, she was loved worldwide. I talked to people from Miami, New York. Her friend Prince, who we did the interview with, he was from New York, Columbus. It's people in many other different areas around the world that has contacted me about Courtney, the person she was, and what she meant to them. What she meant to them. So I'm gonna let y'all take some time and come on in. I want to take it back to the beginning on Dork Place. Let's go to the beginning. So I don't even know which way I want to start, y'all, because there's so much new information that's been coming. So I'm gonna put it like this. First, okay, this is what we gonna do. First, we gonna talk about Mr. Kyson. Mr. Kyson D. Murphy, the shooter. So I had two emails that come my way yesterday about Mr. Kyson. And what I have found out, which I don't know is true, it's all allegations. It's allegations. I found out that like I said, he didn't look like he was into a lot of different things, but you could tell he most definitely was by the grin that was on his face and his mugshot. That right there to me was enough to show a person's mentality and a person's mindset. How could you possibly smile after being accused and arrested for a murder and a murder of a female? I don't know if that's some kind of street cred or some kind of do he feel like that's like a badge of honor because of that? Because of the work that he did? I mean, she was a female at the end of the day. Regardless of what persona she put on or the people she hung with, she was still a female. She was a young woman. And she didn't deserve none of that. So Mr. Kyson is 5'10", 130 pounds. Listen to what I'm saying. He's 5'10", 130 pounds. Boog was at least 5'1", 5'2", 110, 115 pounds, soaking wet. Maybe 115 at the most. You know what I'm saying? But this is my thing. Look at how much power he had over her. And then the group of men or studs, mix, whatever, all of this is allegedly. Allegedly. But it's a fact that he was her killer. Mr. Kyson was the shooter. That is a fact. But allegedly, from what I read, I don't know which one to believe with these articles. I read two articles that said he was apprehended in May. He been a suspect since May. They had him right after it all happened. They pretty much had nabbed him. And then I read and seen videos where he was arrested yesterday or the day before yesterday. So I'm kind of confused with all that, y'all. I'm kind of confused on, like I said a few weeks ago, I read that they had a suspect in custody, but they never released his name for us to say if it was Mr. Kyson or if it was somebody else. So let's go back to Dort Place, the original crime scene. Let's stay on Dort Place for a minute. I read a report yesterday that said, and we all know the story with them sitting in the car, right? They were sitting in the car and the group of men approached them. Now, from the emails I'm getting, it's saying that Mr. Kyson has been a robber. That's what he does. He was about that life. He was unstable mentally. The people he hung with wasn't the best group of dudes to hang with. Pretty much he was a menace from what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? This is allegedly. But from looking at the mug shots with that grin, you can obviously tell it's some kind of mental bipolar behavior going on, or maybe schizophrenic bipolar. It's something going on there. I mean, the mug shot says 1,000 words. But then with the people of Columbus saying like, dude wasn't cool, but Boog did know who he was. From the conversation I had yesterday, allegedly she knew who he was. And we all kind of figured that. Like I said, he was 5'10", 130 pounds. That was way too much power. He pistol whipped her, assaulted her, shot her, the car. Why? What was it about him that he was the one who did the job out of the group? All the whole group was young. From what they said, it was personal. They saying it was personal. Mr. Lockhart was not the original. He wasn't the target. I'm not going to say original. He never was the target. Boog was always the target. That's why Mr. Cameron didn't get shot. Allegedly. People I'm talking to in emails, I'm telling you, y'all, it's going more towards Mr. Lockhart didn't have nothing to do with it at all. And when I sit back and look at this story and go through details, because y'all know it's backdoor season, but what if Mr. Cameron didn't have nothing to do with it? What if it was the group of men that had something personal, a vendetta, that target her just because? Maybe something happened. I'm getting emails that it was about a girl. I got emails saying it was about a female. But I don't believe, if it was, it was. But here's the thing. What was the reason for them to go on Dort Place? Dort Place was the original setup spot. Let's go through it. The person who she was going to go do was not on Dort Place. So I told y'all before, somebody told me like, You missing it because it was by the old Club 57. I found out through emails and phone conversations last night, the old Club 57 had nothing to do with nothing. It was closed. Only thing that Club 57 has to Boog was never at Club 57. Mr. Lockhart was never at Club 57. I don't even think that the assailants was at Club 57. Only reason why Club 57 keep coming up is because it is by Dorp Place and Beechwood. It's in the area. It's a common place that's close to the crime scene. That's the only reason why Club 57 even keep coming up. So let's get into this whole female thing. Allegedly. We don't know if this is true. These are emails that is coming in that people from Columbus is talking about. They saying it was over a female. I can't really go too far into that. I really can't. I mean, we did know that Boog had a person in her life, but I don't know the extent. Nobody had told me like, oh well, she was in love with a girl, this and that and the other. I know from listening to Risky, that say 1,000 words right there, but I'm not discrediting nobody or nothing like that. So that was one theory. Another theory was about this drug transaction. I keep hearing about this drug transaction. I would say 60% of my emails is about this drug transaction, right? They saying that's the whole reason why they was on Dorp Place, allegedly. Allegedly. Some people said Boog was selling weed. We found out that wasn't true. I don't know if she did that now, but was doing that before her death. But a lot of people close to her who I reached out to said these is people that are reputable people, family and friends of hers that been knowing her, been around her majority of her life. These people are saying she ain't sell no weed. She ain't sell no weed. Now, could Mr. Lockhart could have sold weed? We don't know that either. But what it is looking like is Dorp Place was a meetup place for something. For something. What do y'all think? Do y'all think it could have been about the drugs? Because whoever here she was going to go do did not live on Dorp Place. We still don't know who here she was going to go do. And we know it wasn't on Dorp Place. Somebody would have came out by now. I think so. What y'all think? Do y'all think whoever here she was going to go do was on Dorp Place? Or do y'all think she was lured here? Like me, I believe that this was a lure. Look how secluded it is back here. I mean, even though it's house and everything, but that circle look real. Something about this circle, right? It's too off in the cut. It's off in the back. What was the point in going on Dorp Place? If she wasn't going to go do no hair, it's only her and Mr. Lockhart in the car sitting on Dorp Place. They were sitting in the car on Dorp Place. When they were sitting in the car, a group of assailants approached the vehicle. If they didn't pull off seeing this group coming, it's common sense they had to know the people. If not all of them, some of them. Because if I'm seeing a group, that's anybody. Think about it. Use your common sense. If I'm just sitting in this car and these group of people coming towards me or looking suspect and I don't know them, who ain't gonna burn out? We leaving. We not about to keep sitting here. These dudes look weird. We out. Only way I could see them standing there, staying in that place, and from what the emails is saying, it was some kind of transaction went down on Dorp Place. Allegedly, something went down on Dorp Place, and they was either meeting up to either buy or sell something, or do some kind of business. Something happened there. And then Mr. Lockhart didn't get shot. He didn't get shot. But think about it, y'all. Think about it. Put yourself. If you don't believe Mr. Lockhart got nothing to do with it, comment and say that. Because I'm 50-50 with it. I don't know if he do, I don't know if he don't. But what I'm saying is the emails and time is going on when him not having no injuries, driving her to the hospital, it seemed like his back was really up against the wall. Some people could look at it and say, y'all stay with me. I don't want to lose y'all. Listen to what I'm about to say. Some people could maybe feel like he had something to do with it because he didn't get injured and then he left the hospital allegedly. We don't have no proof on that though. That's why I can't really go 100% in that direction. Like, oh, he just left her. He just left her there. We don't know. Only thing we know, he did drive her to the hospital. When you look at this story in Mr. Lockhart's shoes, and a group of assailants approached both of them with guns, what could Mr. Lockhart really could have do if he didn't have nothing to do with it? It's really nothing you can do if you being hemmed up at gunpoint by multiple men. What can you do? They didn't target him. They assaulted him as well, hemmed him up with the pistol. I'm quite sure why Mr. Murphy was assaulting her with the gun. Remember, he's 5'10". Boog is 5'1", no more than 5'2". 130 pounds, she 110 pounds. He overpowered her. Probably why the other guys probably had Mr. Lockhart jammed up. He couldn't do nothing. So after that, they felt it had to be some kind of guilt. Whatever they was looking for, they didn't get because it was attempted robbery. We know, I talked to close sources. They did not get her chain. They did not get her chain. Miss Wanda has her chain. We don't know if they got the phone. If they did get some money, it probably was a little bit of nothing. Because why would she just be carrying that kind of money on her just on the regular humbug? Like it just don't make sense. I could picture a couple dollars, but like they said, it was a botched robbery. This is public information, police reports. This was a botched robbery. So it's looking like, to me, it's looking like y'all, Mr. Lockhart really did try to help. Because think about it, if he wasn't, why would he take her to the hospital? Why would he? If you got something to do with something like that, you're not about to take nobody to no hospital or nothing like that. You leaving the scene and everything. Think about it. And I'm not here to just be like, oh, hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get the I wanted to show y'all something real quick. Why would he take her to the hospital if he didn't care for her and love her? To me, the conversations that I had last night, they said Mr. Lockhart is taking it very hard, her death, very hard. I mean, think about it. Think about it. You would too. Hold on, y'all, because I just had the You would too, because think about it. Her blood will be on his hands because he still will feel like, okay, here we go. He still will feel like, damn, if I didn't take her over there or she'd still be living. He rushed her to the hospital. I'm hearing different sides on Mr. Lockhart end. So it's like, we could think it was a backdoor play. But what if it was a backdoor play by the other people that she knew, the group of assailants? Could it possibly been that's why Mr. Lockhart was with her? Because they knew they was going over there to meet them people for something. She didn't want to go by herself. So if I want to go by myself, I'm going to take somebody with me that I know got my back. But then when they get there, allegedly, these are the stories. Mr. Murphy is a popular thief in the neighborhood. From what I'm hearing, allegedly, he has a reputation of backdooring and robbing. That's the lifestyle that he lived. They saying he was very cutthroat, allegedly, up to no good. I mean, looking at the mugshots, you could tell. They was outnumbered, Mr. Lockhart and Boog. When you really sit back and dig through this information piece by piece, I hope we get to hear some new music from her. Me too. Me too. That would be dope. That would be dope. And speaking of the music, y'all, I'm sorry, I got to go off record real quick. I got to go off record. Do y'all believe Coi Leray and Boog the Bandit has the same style, same image? It to me, I didn't know her and Trippie Redd was in a relationship. Y'all know sometimes I get the information slow. This is the old Club 57. See, this old Club 57, right? This is empty. From his Facebook, you can see Kyson and his friends are proud of being thieves. That's what I'm saying. Listen, I did get into the Facebook. I couldn't find no TikTok. I couldn't find no TikTok. But looking at him, You could tell he was up to no good. You could tell he does this. I showed an email on another video, and they told me it was a popular thief in the neighborhood that day. True, Mr. Kyson was the popular thief they was talking about. But here's the thing, he just went on Dork Place for no reason. They weren't just over there for no reason. Boog and Mr. Lockhart went over there for a reason. She was on her way to go do somebody else's hair. Dork Place was an in-between stop. That wasn't the place where she was going to go do no hair at. When they got on Dork Place, that's why a lot of people still think allegedly Mr. Lockhart has something to do with it. But it don't make sense for him to, when I think about it, y'all, and it's just my personal opinion right here. See, y'all see what I'm saying? This is Beechwood right here. Beechwood gonna run straight into, Beechwood gonna take you to East Livingston. Club 57 had nothing to do with nothing. That's just a main street. I mean, a main common location. See what I'm saying? Y'all see East Livingston right there? It turns straight into East Livingston. Now, did Mr. Lockhart did he ride past the old Club 57 to get to Mount Carmel Hospital? That's the part I don't know. That's the part I don't know. Because you could tell, because I'm like, what do East Livingston has to do with it? Because they kept saying Club 57, you missing it, Club 57. The drug transaction allegedly happened by the old Club 57. So I'm looking at old Club 57. I'm like, okay, I see Beechwood. I keep seeing all these other streets, but I'm like, where do East Livingston come into place? But see, when I went up to the corner, I never went left. I had always went this way. But see, I thought East Livingston ran. See, here go right here. See? Right, see, Beechwood and East Livingston is right there. Dork Place not far from it. So that's why when the news told us Beechwood Place and East Livingston and Dork Place, I'm like, but why would they give us all three streets? Is that the route that Mr. Lockhart took to get her to the hospital? Because I GPS the distance from East Livingston and Beechwood Place to Mount Carmel Hospital. Two of them said, one said 11 minutes and the other said 14 minutes. And that depends what route you take. But if you live in Columbus, everybody know back streets in certain ways that can get you to places quicker. So Mr. Lockhart probably couldn't have took none of these ways. Who knows? We don't know. But what we do know is that he did try to save her life. Because if he didn't, why would he take her to the hospital? We don't know if he left the hospital or stayed. A lot of people saying he left. We have no proof. Until I get some proof on that part, I'm not just going to say he just left her like that. I don't. Because she walked into the hospital and passed, unfortunately, a few minutes later. To me, it seemed like Mr. Lockhart probably ran every stop sign and red light to get her to the hospital. Think about it. They said, oh, Mr. Lockhart could have backdoored her because he didn't get injured. He didn't get shot. He wasn't the target. Their whole plan and plot was to rob Courtney. When they got to that car, they hemmed both of them up. I really do believe that. I don't believe they had a chance. I don't. I don't believe they had a chance. I believe they strictly went after Boog, and Mr. Lockhart so happened to be there in the car with pistols to him. What else could you do? They didn't shoot him. They let them pull off and then shot at the car afterwards. That's why I said it's still some things that's not coming together that we got to put together. But Mr. Kyson, I don't know if he was paid to do this work, because I don't understand why the other people ain't in custody as well. The group of people, they didn't stop it, do nothing to stop it. Didn't do nothing to stop it. They approached the vehicle while they were sitting in a car. Either it was a drug transaction gone bad, or they whole plan, somebody backdoored her and had her come over there so they can rob her. That's how that went down. It wasn't just random. That group was not just sitting in that back circle for no reason at that time. Her and Mr. Lockhart was on that street sitting in that car. That group approached them. They wasn't just out there for no reason. And Boog and Mr. Lockhart just didn't pull up there for no reason. It was either a drug deal gone bad, or it was a confrontation about a situation. They went on Dork Place for no reason. Everybody in Columbus know it was about a drug deal. That's what everybody keeps saying. So was they going to go cop something on the personal side? You know what I'm saying? Maybe, who knows if Mr. Lockhart was selling weed. We don't know that. Ain't nobody brought me no receipts on that. But I could say the way it's going, the way the story in my emails is leaning to, it's a lot of people in Mr. Lockhart corner now. At first, when I started covering the stories, a lot of people who really did think he had something to do with it and backdoored her. But now, as the time is going on and more information is coming out, is more people coming to the forefront. I had two people email me who was going against Mr. Lockhart that know him personally. I did a video and told Mr. Lockhart, watch the people you sitting around, because they show emailing me about you, brought me into this man's whole life, what school he went to, where he from, what his Facebook, his Instagram, his baby mama. These is people close to him. So that's what I'm saying. I didn't release all that information because I would hate to do that if he's innocent and have nothing to do with it. Who mama addresses on door plays? Who just said that? Hey, blank. His mother address is listed as being on door. Who mother address? Mr. Kyson or Mr. Lockhart? Who? Who address was listed on door plays? Cause I seen Mr. Murphy information yesterday from the sheriff department. But I didn't see no address or nothing like that. It was just his birthday. His birthday just passed in April. Two separate addresses listed on door plays. Right, okay. Okay. Thank you for that, black I'm sorry, it went away so fast. I'm gonna check into that too because I knew it was something. They had to know each other. What was the reason for them to go on Dork Place if they didn't know nobody who lived on Dork Place? First, we thought like, oh, she was doing hair. Whoever hair was doing was on Dork Place, right? But then I'm like, well, that don't make sense because they kept saying it was by the old Club 57. It was a drug transaction went bad. That's a lot of emails it's saying. I'm like, oh, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't really say if that is the case, but what was the reason for them being on Dork Place? That's what made me say, and I always believed this, and from people in Columbus kept telling me they all knew each other. If she didn't know all of the assailants, she probably knew three of them. You hear what I'm saying? Including Mr. Lockhart. Everybody involved in this knew each other. That's what made me say, did they go to the funeral? Did they go to the funeral? I read reports that Mr. Kyson was locked up since May, and then I heard they just got him a couple days ago, yesterday or 2 days ago. They arrested him. So, and that's on public information. So I'm like, which one is it? That's why I said we have to do our own research, y'all, and come together because the news is not going to give us the information that we need. We got to do our own research, put our voices together, and try to put two and two together because they be missing out on a lot of important information. Something happened on Door Place, and I believe they just didn't go over there for no reason. Either she was called over there, which we know she was called over there, or she knew some people on Door Place because her and Mr. Lockhart was too comfortable to just be sitting in that car if they ain't know nobody over there if it wasn't no kind of transaction. They sitting in the car. So that make it seem like whoever called them over there, soon as they pull up, sitting in the car, he had to be coming out of his mama house, Black. Black, I'm telling you, good, thank you for that information. Because it makes sense now. If his mother, he got two separate addresses on Dork Place, boom, there it is. There it is. That I believe it's a big piece of the puzzle right there, that information. Because that goes to show she knew somebody over there. It just wasn't a meetup spot. And off back in that hole like that. And here's the y'all excuse my language, but here's the shit that really don't make sense. Why would you commit a murder in front of your mama house? Like that's weird. So what happened out there? Was it about the drug transaction? Was it about the female? And they assaulted her and tried to rob her and shot at the car. They assaulted Mr. Lockhart as well. He pulled off, boom, rushed her straight to the hospital. I believe when you look at this from Mr. Lockhart point of view, it looked like he really tried to save her life. Because if he didn't, why even rush her to the hospital when he could have really just left her there? He could have got out the car, ran, anything. He ain't do that. He stayed in the car with her and took her to the hospital. We don't know if he went in or he stayed, but it's kind of looking like the back door didn't come from Mr. Lockhart. It looked like the back door came from Mr. Murphy and the group that was with him. Them little friends that they was with, them little friends, the little robbers, the little dudes, I believe the back door came from them. And obviously they all had to know each other. Did Boog take his woman or something, an ex or something like that? Was it a deal on some kind of, let me buy some personal weed, we gonna smoke, we about to roll out, and then they, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of it's really black and white, honestly. It's really not that hard to put together. Either they tried to it was about a girl allegedly, or it was a drug transaction, or they probably try to come at her or disrespect her or something, and things went left. Because why would the whole group approach the car like that?
Murder and aggravated robbery. He's accused of shooting and killing Courtney Bruce, known by her stage name, Boog the Bandit. Bruce was killed during an attempted robbery back in May. Murphy is currently being held at the Franklin County Jail. Now, if you'd like to see...
So they keep showing this house, y'all. If y'all notice, they keep showing this same house on Dork Place.
At the attempted robbery.
It got the address to where he lived, the house.
Currently being held at the Franklin County Jail. Now, if you'd like to see crimes that could be happening in your neighborhood,
I think they know each other because Boog's girlfriend follow Kyson on Instagram. Get out of here. Man, I got emails saying it was about this female. They saying it was about this female, and this is the main two things I'm hearing in my emails and the phone conversations I'm having. Allegedly, it's about this girl, or it's about the drug transaction. The drug transaction is more heavier than the girl situation, but that girl is about a girl situation that's heavy too. Them is the most two things that is coming my way about this.
Police have arrested a 22-year-old man and charged him with the death of Columbus rapper. Kyson Murphy is charged with murder and aggravated robbery. He's accused of shooting and killing Courtney Bruce, known by her...
And why is Courtney's girl following Mr. Kyson? So they all knew each other. All of this, like I said, all of them was friends at some point in time. But what went left in these friendships of theirs, which caused Mr. Kyson to assault her, shoot her, and when Mr. Lockhart pull off, continue to shoot at the car. Neighbors, in police reports, neighbors said they heard 2 to 3 shots after the car pulled off. So he just kept shooting. That's why I said he need to go down. Like, we already know they got him. Them other people he was with, they need to be in jail too. Because all of this was just senseless, and it was an overkill, and it seemed like it was out of jealousy. These dudes be jealous over these females. Boog was on her way to make it out. She made it. She made it. She was just a few steps from leaving Columbus and taking care of her mother. And hopefully, maybe they could have left Columbus, her and Miss Wanda. I don't know the situation. But from the people that I talked to that was close to her, say Boog was on her way to moving to Atlanta or New York. I don't know which one it was, but some people say New York, some people say Atlanta. But the thing is, she was on her way out. Who hair was she going to go do? And was the hair she going to go do on Dork Place? What y'all think? What y'all think? Because if his mom, if Mr. Kyson has 2 addresses, right? That's on Dork Place. Who is the other house? His mama and his sister. So he had to live with one of them.
Stage name, Boog the Bandit. Bruce was killed during an attempted robbery back in May. Murphy is currently being held at the Franklin County Jail. Now, if you'd like to see crimes...
I think that back house right there has something to do with it, too.
/Crime Tracker 10. That's where you will find our interactive...
That back house has something to do with it. What is it? Yeah, do that. Pipeline News 2020 at gmail.com. And that's weird,
How would you
Blanky.
like to earn $10,000 a month? Or
Right, that's weird. Like,
$100,000
first of all, why is the girlfriend allegedly following Mr. Kyson on Instagram? Like, he killed your whole girlfriend. And you following this dude on Instagram? When I'm quite sure old girl had to know, allegedly, it had to be some kind of beef going on. If Mr. Kyson and Boog was originally friends, and the girl is messing with Mr. Kyson, see, I don't know. So, like they were saying, it could possibly be an alleged love triangle, and then they said it was about a drug transaction. The people that's in my emails, phone calls I'm getting is about Mr. Lockhart being innocent. He's innocent. It's look. The more we start digging into it, y'all, it really starting to seem like he didn't have nothing to do with it. It really seemed like he was really just hemmed up with guns while they was assaulting Boog. It was a group. He was 5'10", Mr. Kyson. 5'10". They all was in their 20s. So if he that tall, who knows how the rest of them was built or how they had them hemmed up. Everybody had pistols. You know what I'm saying? Because the police don't have Mr. Lockhart as a suspect. Cameron is not a suspect. They don't have him as a suspect. But I do smell backdoor on this. At first, I'm gonna be honest. I was thinking well, dang, did he hold on, y'all, I'm sorry. At first I was like, well, did he have something to do with it or not? Hold on, y'all, I went incognito. Let me get back. Did he have something to do with it or not? Because at first I'm like, man, this looking real fishy. He didn't get shot. He didn't get nothing. But then his people started coming to Cameron's defense. They was like, look, we know both of them. We know Cameron. We know Boog. We went to school. Cameron went like that. And people of his on both sides, family and friends. Some people was against Mr. Lockhart, but it's more people rioting for him than against him. And I can say that. But my thing is, we don't know because we wasn't there. We wasn't there. Only thing we could do is hold on, I'm gonna go back to one of these videos. I want to show y'all something that I think this the one with the receipt of the emails that somebody sent me.
To me, it don't feel like it was no OG work.
Let me see. I could send you the address. I can see the address. The brick build. Damn, I missed that last comment. The brick building. That's what I'm saying. Like that house that sit off in the back. That back house in that hole. Y'all, even when we look at the news and everything, every report we read, they show that back circle, them houses back off in that. And I'm like, well, why they just keep showing that circle back there? Even though we knew the crime happened on Door Place. But I'm like, they keep showing them garbage cans and them two houses that's off in the back to the left. I said, it had to happen over there somewhere. And then when you seen the caution crime tape, go back to the original news article. When you see the original caution crime tape, it's on them poles that's sitting in that circle.
Nothing like that or no professional work. But I do believe the reason is like, because Ohio are that's involved. Because this the thing, even if it was with the I'm not snitching, no. But you know, because they
and that's why I'm like,
Rich on me, Quan.
Okay, that's cute money, y'all. Hold on, I'm trying to get these receipts.
So, do y'all really believe all the attention was on Boog?
25-year-old man. When a group of men approached and shot multiple times.
Because this story could go on.
That's what I'm saying. That brick building they keep showing is a shield. Something like an apartment. Right. Yeah, I figured that too. I figured that. Because this is my thing. Was she going to go do the girl hair who it's all about? Because first I'm like, was she going to go do Mr. Lockhart hair? Because she never told Miss Wanda who hair she was going to go do. Unless if she did tell Miss Wanda just didn't say nothing to the public, which is understandable. But from what Miss Wanda said, from what the news article was saying, she left the house going to go do hair. Mr. Lockhart picked her up. He picked her up. They didn't say no other stops. They said they went to Dorp Place. And they were sitting in a car on Dorp Place. A group of men armed with guns approached the vehicle. They went straight towards Boog. Boom. assault her, rob her, whatever they try, attempted robbery. Oh yeah, thank you. I'm gonna check that out too. I'm gonna check that out because that's weird for her to be following Mr. Kyson on Instagram. Is she still following him right now, or was she following him before Boog passed? Because that right there, the plot to thinking with that.
And then they have a suspect in custody.
See,
I don't know if just people in Columbus is just talking and people calling in. Triviality. He tagged me to tune in. Our fault. Oh no, it's much love. It's much love, y'all. Shout out to everyone.
See, I did this video a few weeks ago, y'all, and then I had reported it was a suspect in custody. A lot of let me tell y'all something about me. I do a lot of research. I got the screenshot, took them yesterday, and as of yesterday, get the man. I'm done. I'm done. The chick is following Mr. Kyson. Oh yeah, this about to open up another door right here. So is it possible the girl set the back door play up? Nah, y'all. Tell me I ain't reaching. Tell me I ain't reaching. Is it possible old girls set the back door up? Because from what I'm hearing, she's posted Boog all of a sudden. Man, listen, from what I'm hearing, this I'm hearing this girl, her page was deleted when Boog died. This is allegedly from what I'm hearing. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is true. Somebody told some people told two people told me like she and her feelings about that chain. She won't Boog chain, and I don't know if Miss Wanda won't give it to her. She was out of town. Went out of town the same day Boog was murdered. That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. Because remember when I showed y'all the email about the girl who went to the Miami Sweet Heat, who I got in touch with? Remember I got the email from the person who was saying like, oh, Boog went to Miami a couple days. She had just got back from Miami a couple days before she died, or like a day before she died or something. Yeah, I'm going to go check her page. Send me that to my email, pipelinenews2020@gmail.com. Send me that information. I appreciate that so I can look into it. So they was telling me like, I thought she was suspect too. Chris, I didn't want to say nothing. Yeah, because listen, some people in Columbus that's close to the situation hit me and was like, I got people who stay in touch with me on news and stuff. No secrets or no real sources like that. People that's close though, that I've been talking to ever since I've been covering the story on and off. And they very reliable though, reliable sources. Telling me girl felt some kind of way about Boog's chain. She want the chain. And I don't think from what they saying allegedly, Miss Wanda not giving it to her and the girls in her feelings about the chain. I don't know if this is true. I guess allegedly she wanted the chain after the burial, and they she couldn't get it. And I heard after that it was kind of little problems and stuff like that. And then to find out that she following Mr. Kyson on Instagram, that's even more crazy. Like how you following? Hold on. How is you following the whole murder who murdered your girl? That's weird. Like that's starting to look suspect too. That why a lot of people keep putting Mr. Lockhart in the fire, because they want to believe he has something to do with it when actually it's looking like he was loyal to her. It do. If you go to Mr. Lockhart, he hurt people around him is telling me like he ain't doing good. He ain't taking it too good. He feel bad about it. Like he ain't taking it too good. He loved her. They was like real brothers and sisters. Like more people coming to the defense, and then I got people like, he ain't cool. Dude ain't cool. And he was not her brother. And let this be clear too, real quick.
So we don't know, but I tell y'all what, to me it seemed like Coy. They tried to reincarnate.
That's me talking about Coy, Leroy, and Boog. Y'all see the box braids and all that. But they was telling me like some people was still like he ain't cool. He ain't like that. Like some people for him. It's more people with Mr. Lockhart that's rioting for him than against him. I can't say. But I have to be clear. He was not her blood brother. He was not. I don't care what y'all say. I didn't talk to many people. I have done my research on her real brother and everything. People close to her family has contacted me. I talked to them. He was not her brother, but they was like brothers and sisters. So I'm saying it still was a relationship there. So I ain't gonna take nothing from their relationship because they weren't blood. But a lot of people kept saying they was biological brothers and sisters, and they're not. They're friends that's like brothers and sisters, and that's why they call each other brothers. That's what that was. But I need that information on Mr. Kyson, having them addresses on Dork Place, because it all makes sense now. And they said originally the confrontation took, they said it was a confrontation that happened. Could this confrontation allegedly, could this confrontation be about this young woman, this other female? Right? Could it be about the other female? Because she's following Mr. Kyson on Instagram, and he murdered Boog, and he been in custody since May allegedly, and then already got arrested the other day. But why is she following him? See, that's what I'm saying. All of them, she knew. Boog knew everybody that was coming, and I believe Mr. Lockhart knew him too. They all was friends once upon a time. They all was friends. Something went left. Maybe it was the girl situation that caused their friendship to go bad. But once again, they come in with this drug transaction story. They said a drug transaction happened on Dork Place by the old Club 57. That's real heavy about this drug transaction. She claims she bought that chain. Everything you saying is true. What is your email? I've been in jail since June 29th or June 30th. I'm telling y'all, this is what people telling me. Shout out to the people in Columbus that's getting with me on this information. I don't live there. I don't know. I don't know none of these characters involved. I'm just a person that cover real life stories. I like to cover backdoor plays because I need people to stay alert with the people they bringing into their circle and into their lives. Most of these people that take you out or rob you, gun you down, shoot your house up, it always be somebody you knew, somebody closest to you. That's why I cover a lot of backdoor stories, because these is real life stories, real life scenarios. Boog was a good one. She ain't deserve nothing like this. She don't deserve nothing like this. And I believe this is just the beginning. Mr. Kyson is facing murder and robbery charges. He ain't never coming home. He ain't never coming home. You can tell he got mental issues by looking at his mugshot. It's a matter of time before he roll over. I just see it. He's 22, never had a murder charge, never did this kind of time they throwing over his head. I don't believe he the type that's going to go down like that. Him and them young dudes robbing people and the lifestyle they live. The information I got on Mr. Kyson, he most definitely was about that life. I thought he was just a little dude who sold a little weed, you know what I mean, trying to put on for his people. Oh, no, he was with the shits. He was with the shits. And a lot of people who told me, like who I was on the phone with, a conversation I had yesterday, they was like, yeah, him and his friends, that's what they do. They always been into trouble and robbing people up no good. He got mental issues.
That's just what I think, from the look to the style to a lot of different things. It's just like it's two different versions of them, of course, because they're two different people. But the imagery.
And then people kept saying too, like, oh, like when I first started covering Boog, they like, oh, it was a sacrifice. Boog was a sacrifice for Coy Leray. I'm like, I don't really see that part. Because y'all know sometimes we could go with our sacrificing theories depending on, you know, with labels and what's going on with these artists. But then I got to thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, Trippie Redd did used to date Coy Leray. Did he have something to do with Coy Leray image? I'm not saying he did. I was just thinking that. Just, this is way off the box. But did he have something to do with Coy Leray's image? And took Boog whole swag and gave it to her, because both of them have pop star vibes. You can't tell me Coy and Boog do not have the same pop star vibes. Only thing is, Coy, they dressed her up real girly. But Coy is a whole stud. Like Boog, they both is tomboys. They just put more makeup on Coy. But if you take all of the makeup off and let her live in her truth, you would think her and Boog was real family members or something. They took Boog whole style and gave it to Coy Leray. That's my opinion. I believe that. The box braids and all that. Wasn't no other rappers wearing box braids but the Brat. And that was 20, 30 years ago. Next female rapper that wore box braids was Boog. Modern day. This day and age. Boog passed. Coy Leray blow up. Even Coy was on already. I'm not going to say that. But It's kind of coincidental to me just how her whole style just got took. Like, same thing with the rest of them. Like I tell y'all about Ohio rappers, they swag is always getting jacked. Always. It's something about Ohio artists on why they seem to get blackballed or something to a certain degree. The Q Moneys, the Bone Thugs and Harmony, Boog the Bandit. It's always something with Ohio artists that as soon as they about to reach their peak, something happen. Somebody die or somebody go to jail or it's something. It's like it's something going on with the Ohio artists. And that's why I'm here to cover it and put some respect on their names. We got to put some respect on Boog's name. She was young, but look what she accomplished in this short amount of time. Even with the lifestyle that she lived in her past and changed her life over. She just got baptized on Valentine's Day. She was going through a transition. And how Mr. Kyson took her life from her is very unfair, and he really do need to rot in jail, and the people who was out there around that car also needs to go to jail. Because at this point it's looking like Mr. Lockhart. Mr. Lockhart, it looked like he's a victim as well. Think about it. He was the last one with her when he seen her. He was the last one seeing her alive. And it was only a few minutes after he pulled off that she walked to the hospital where she passed from her injuries. Do y'all not know how much trauma that's going to do to Mr. Lockhart? Being a friend, being a brother, somebody who really love her, that blood is going to be on his hands. Even though it was out of his control, it had to be out of his control. If a group of men assaulted, ran up to the car, what can you do? Anybody in that situation, if you ain't got no gun on you, what can you do? He been in jail since June 29th or June 30th. Pipeline, what's your email so I can send you the Pipeline News 2020 at gmail.com. You said who been in jail? Mr. Kyson been in jail since June 29th? Because I read an article last night that said he been in jail since May. Because then when I was reading the article a few weeks ago in this video I'm showing y'all, it said they had a suspect in custody, but they wouldn't release his name. So I was wondering, like, okay, well, did they have Mr. Lockhart in custody and thought he was a suspect and then released him because they didn't have nothing on him? In May, because that's what they were saying in May. They had a suspect. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe that was Mr. Lockhart. And see, remember I did a video and was like, well, they got somebody in suspect in custody. Is it Mr. Lockhart? Because that's what I was thinking. But they never released this information. So I'm thinking he probably just went and had to give his side of the story, da-da-da. They had him and then they let him go. They don't have nothing on Mr. Lockhart. Mr. Lockhart was never a suspect. He was just a suspect to the streets because he was the last one with her. That's why we all expected that he probably had something to do with it. But when it comes to proof and evidence, there's nothing saying that Mr. Lockhart had nothing to do with it. It's looking like he really tried to save her life. I'll never leave my homie. I would have. Right, but that's the thing. We don't know if Mr. Lockhart left at the hospital. Some people saying he left her at the hospital. I heard he had warrants and stuff. He didn't want to charge. This is allegedly. Because we have no proof if he went in there with her or if he left. We don't have no proof. We got to let that come to surface. If somebody know that information, feel free to email me, pipelinenews2020 at gmail.com, so we can have a discussion about it. Because I would love to know, because that's the part that bothered me. Like, well, damn, if you like her brother, how could you just leave her at the hospital and let her walk in? You know what I'm saying? And then people was like, well, you acting like it's like, y'all be coming hard on me too. Y'all like, oh, well, how can you just say that? He probably had drugs in the car. He had warrants. Just because he left the hospital don't mean he ain't love her. Like, y'all was trying to drag me about the shit, but I'm like, nah, it ain't that. But where is the proof? If you my homie and like my brother, sister, whatever, we just get assaulted, you get shot all in the chest. I'm not leaving you at no hospital by yourself. I met Boog at Pride before. I missed the last part of it. Because think about that's what they were saying. So I'm like, well, damn, did he leave her at the hospital or did he come back to the hospital? That's the part we don't know. But what is a fact is that he was the last one with her and he did not get shot. He did get assaulted as well. I read that in the police report. She was genuine. Boog was a sweet soul. She was a sweet spirit. I mean, everybody I talked to and interviewed and emailed with who know Boog personally or came across her ain't have nothing but good things to say about it. Honestly, with me covering this whole entire case on her, I never heard not one bad thing about Boog, not one. I still to this day have yet to hear one bad thing. Everybody loved her. It was always good news. Boog was the GOAT. Boog most definitely was a GOAT. She beat the odds. Coming out of Columbus, a female. She modeled for Rob Kardashian and all of them. Chris Brown. She made it in the music. She was 26. Come on, man. She accomplished so much. And I read she had a degree in criminal justice. She went to college. She went to school and graduated college, had a degree. See, it's a lot of stuff that Boog was motivation to the people. If people would have just linked up with her and let her, she could have put Columbus on. She could have put people in a lot of good positions. She could have brought a lot of people with her, and she could have done a lot for the school system and the kids down there. Boog had a heart of gold. Heart of gold. Looked out for everybody, loved everybody. And for Mr. Kyson to take her from us like that and smiling in the mugshot, it makes me upset. It does. It makes me upset. You 5'10", sir. And then it took a group of dudes for this little bitty old girl. She 5'1". What could y'all possibly thought? Come on, man. This was just senseless. All of them was friends. All of them was friends at some point. The girlfriend allegedly is suspect because I'm hearing too much about this girlfriend the last few weeks. I wasn't gonna talk about it, but people keep bringing this girlfriend up. I heard about the chain, like she was mad she couldn't get the chain. Allegedly, she was mad she couldn't get the chain from Miss Wanda right after the funeral. She wanted the chain. They said Miss Wanda wouldn't give it to her allegedly. And then I'm finding out that people, when I first covered the story, they was like, it's about the girl, it's the girl, it's the girl. Like, who the hell is this girl? You know what I'm saying? And then they like, it was a drug transaction. Then I hear another story like just today, like, oh, y'all just put in the comments like the girlfriend was following Mr. Kyson on Instagram. So could it be possibly Boog took the girl from Mr. Kyson, or Kyson tried to take the girl from Boog? And when they went on Dork Place, they met up to have a conversation and it went left? Or was it about the drugs on Dork Place? That's the part that I still want to do research on, y'all. But it ain't adding up. I can't understand. Two things I need to get down to the bottom of. Did Mr. Lockhart leave her at the hospital or did he go in? What y'all think about that? Who hair she was going to go do? And number three, who is the girl who is still following Kyson on Instagram? Fact, she was the one to put the city on. Bow Wow was the only one to make it out. Yop, sure was. Not allegedly. She posted it for her IG herself. Posted what? What she allegedly post? That she had wanted to change? Cause the day of Boog's funeral, y'all, I get the email like, um, oh, Boog girlfriend mad, Pipeline News, there's some information you could share, but don't release my name. I'm like, okay, what's going on? How you doing? They like, well, after the funeral, this was the same day of the funeral. And y'all know I was out of town on my birthday week, but I'm still checking my email. They was like, well, the girlfriend like shorty because she want the chain. That's how I know when they robbed her. People when they robbed her, they didn't get nothing. I don't even know if they got her phone. I don't even think they got the phone. I don't know. They didn't get the chain. They didn't really get nothing of value. She didn't have that much money on her. I don't know how much money she had. Honestly, I don't know. But the news and the police reports is saying an attempted robbery. So if it's an attempted robbery, what does that mean, y'all? This had to be personal. This was personal, and it makes it seem like allegedly it probably could have been about the girl. It was overboard. It was sloppy. And she got kicked. The girlfriend got kicked out the funeral. Get the fuck out of here, did she? Let me ask y'all a question. Is the girlfriend the girl who was on the stage on the mic and she couldn't talk? And when I did viewing of when I showed the funeral on my channel, and I was like, oh baby, you could do it, you could talk. Cause the girl was like, she was all choked up and stuff, and they had to come up on. Is that the girlfriend? I think y'all know who I'm talking about. She came up with Boog, who had the dreads, the girl. They came up together. They did. They did everything. What did this said? Man, that's crazy. And then this what I want to know too. Did Mr. Kyson go to the funeral? Because at that point, when Boog died, it was no suspects in custody at that time. They all was friends at once upon a time. Nope, right? Because that would have been fucked up. The girl is still following Kyson, and she looked like she over the Boog situation. But listen, if y'all listen to Boog's song "Risky," it say 1,000 words. It is another chick. No, that's not her girlfriend. Okay, okay. Cause I didn't think that was her girlfriend on the stage. It looked like they was all real friends, and like that hurt my heart to see them like that up there. Man, the funeral was beautiful, but it was just heartbreaking knowing that Boog was gone. That yeah, you could tell them was her longtime friends. The girl with the dreads and the other girl who came up, 'cause the girl was choked up and stuff. I felt bad. That almost brought tears to my eye. I'm like, y'all, she could do it. And I think them Miss Wanda come up there with her. I think Miss Wanda, didn't they come up there with her and support her and stuff so she could talk? The other day, it also looked like the girlfriend was on the damn date that quick. Damn, damn, Gina, slow down. It ain't even been 2 months. Oh, okay. That's crazy. See, that's why I be telling y'all. Some people be with y'all for the wrong reason. We got to be careful with the people we bring into our lives. Some people not with you for all the right reasons. They with you for what you could do for them in that moment. Boog was a star. The girl must have wanted clout. And I'm not gonna say the girl didn't love her or not. I don't know. I can't say if the girl loved her or not. But goddamn, I would still be grieving if it was my girlfriend a month ago. Like Boog just passed. Like, and you on dates it already, and then you following the dude who killed her on goddamn Instagram. Man, this shit ain't adding up. Who knows? So I don't believe y'all. I do not believe the back door came from Mr. Lockhart. I don't. I believe the back door came from either the group of the assailant dudes or old girl. It's only it. It was somebody in that circle, and it was somebody that she knew. That's why we saying it was a back door. This got back door written all over it. But then here's the thing: why would he commit this kind of crime where he live at on his street in front of his mama house? And it was what made me really think it was personal, because the extent that Mr. Kyson took when he shot her, right? Take her out the car, assault her, shoot the car when they pull it off. That's personal. That's too personal. That wasn't just no drug transaction going, but that's what made me think like this had to be personal. I always told y'all that from the beginning. This was not random. Right. Yep. That's why I tell y'all, hey Chris, what's up, y'all? Thanks for tapping into the live. I always said y'all like I don't believe this one random. The imagery this was personal. The box braid, it was backdoor at a look. That's cool. Do y'all see the resemblance? Like, because Ohio mental illness is real. Did y'all see Mr. Kyson smiling on the goddamn mug shot? If he don't look like he is goddamn bipolar, schizophrenic, I don't know what it is. That boy got mental problems. You could look at it and tell he was weird. That's probably why Boog been quit rock the dude. Like, man, I'm not about to. But remember when I told y'all the friend who emailed me who said, I call her mama mom. My sister called her mama mom. This is a good friend who emailed me to this day. He cool. This is somebody who's really close to Boog and her family. He told me, he said on Mother's Day, the dude that got caught took her money and called a relative, told to hold her. No, y'all. Don't tell me that. He took her, so they got the phone, they got some money, but they ain't get the chain. So this is the dumbest shit ever. See, this is what I'm saying. Young people. He took the money and called a relative, told them to hold the money. That's how he got caught on the day of the murder. The Fed locked up the phone records. Police said that. That's crazy. Like, see, that's what I'm saying. That is mental illness. And this some young shit and mental illness. Who the hell call somebody, offer somebody their murder phone, and take the money to some relatives? And come on, man. So that's what I'm saying. Mr. Kyson had to be in custody since May. When I read that article yesterday, they said Mr. Kyson been in custody since May. Maybe they just charged him the other day. But then I read a report saying that he got arrested 2 days ago. When they got him, it was 2 days ago. So I'm gonna dig into that. I'm gonna dig into that. But that's the craziest shit that I heard. But y'all, as the story is unfolding, it's really starting to look like it was about that female. Nobody could vouch that Boog sold drugs. They kept saying she sold weed. I'm like, nah. I made phone calls to people personally, friends, family. Hey, how y'all doing? Condolences, whatever. You know, checking on anybody need anything. And I was trying to talk to Miss Wanda, but they told me she don't want to talk right now, and I can understand that. I can understand that. I had just wanted to see what we could do. You know, the pipeline, maybe donate. You know, I donated some money for the petition and everything, but I like to try to raise money for the victim's family through the pipeline and get cash out. And I have churches too that help me with these things, these endeavors. Like I reach out to pastors to see what we could do to the family because I sell clothes and we try to donate, scarves and gloves or money, whatever we could do, gift cards, you know what I mean? It don't be too much, but it's something just to show support to the family. So as I was doing that, I wanted to reach out to Miss Wanda, and they was like, Miss Wanda, she don't want to talk, but we know, somebody just want to tell you like, oh, it's about the girl. It's about the girl. And then another dude told me like, yeah, it's if you go to her Instagram on Mother's Day, it's 3 or 4 dudes in the back of that Instagram story in the car, and they look creepy. He said, I told Boog, like, quit messing with them dudes, man. Everybody kept telling her, like, quit messing with them dudes. So I'm like, could you go find her Instagram story? Like, we couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. But he said, people kept telling her, quit rocking with them dudes. I'm starting to believe, was it Mr. Kyson and his crew that was with her? I'm going to check that out, too. You said check the dispatch or what? Because I've been at the sheriff's office, court records, and Facebook and Instagram and reaching out to people that's close to the situation. For their style and don't get the recognition. They really don't. They don't. Ohio period has put on for the world. And a lot of people for some reason only want to connect Ohio to farmland and dope. Like, cause Detroit right there, then we neighbors with Chicago. It's hold on, y'all. I'm looking for them receipts. Because we already know I with the old hold on, let me see. How the industry goes. Because this is crazy. Wheel that never stops. This is crazy. Like I told y'all, every day it seemed like it's more and more and more new information coming out. If he been in custody, this is what I'm saying. So if Mr. Kyson been in custody since May, right? Somebody said June. Check the Columbus Dispatch News article that dropped yesterday on Boog. They told everything. Okay, I'm going to check that out too, and I'm going to share that. Hold on, y'all. Let me show you something. Was it with the Alicia Morel? Hold on, y'all, because I got to show y'all these emails. I got some emails that I want to show y'all from people from Columbus that I screenshot and did a video on. Because if Mr. Kyson been in jail since May or June, what took them so long to charge him? Is it still under investigation with these other get shot 5 times. Okay, let's go. Struggle come from them situations. You're gonna do what you gotta do to make ends meet. But one thing she did do was she used her pain for fuel to be successful and be positive because she ended up changing her life around. She always, to me, had a gift. You know what I mean? From clothing to writing her own music. And she signed a deal with Atlantic Records. Okay, let's go on door play. Circle. Y'all see that? That's a street. The house that I'm thinking is on this side. On this side over here. They lured her back there. I don't know if she know people over there or what was the reason for her to be over there, but this is where she died at. In the 3700 block. That house, it's them houses. Them houses over here on that left side. I think that's where it happened. I don't know exactly where, but if you look at the images they show, this is a circle.
Somebody, they brought her back here. It was a setup.
This was a setup.
And then they said the hospital said, now the hospital she
they
went
said
to,
she got shot in the driveway, so she was at the house.
Mount Pleasant. It was called.
Wait a minute. I ain't read nothing about no driveway. I did read that I only thing I read was that, because honestly I never heard about a driveway. I just heard that they was just sitting in the car. I ain't hear about the driveway part. Thank you, Derek. I'm sure gonna check that out as soon as I get off of here. So if she's in the driveway, from what they said, Mr. Kyson, mother and sister lives on Dorp Place. It's 2 addresses he's attached to on Dorp Place. So they pulled up to his mama and sister house. It happened. If they was in the driveway, it had to happen at one of them 2 addresses that Mr. Kyson was at. It had to. And is it possible that Boog has been over there before? What y'all think? Do y'all think with them all being friends, maybe they all have been at that house before, Mr. Lockhart? Because they all was friends once upon a time. Don't forget they all was friends once upon a time. Could have been the situation with the female which caused a rift in their friendships. Cameron, Mr. Lockhart pick a side. He said, I'm rocking with Boog. It don't seem like from the pictures I seen of Mr. Lockhart, it don't look like Mr. Lockhart is pressed for no money. It don't. It looked like Mr. Lockhart got his own bag. It looked like he keep himself up real nice. It don't seem like he was taking advantage or Boog or trying to get over on nobody. It don't. It seemed like Mr. Lockhart was just as set like Boog. I mean, not as much as Boog, but he looked like he carried himself well from the pictures I seen. But it is Facebook and social media, so people put their best pictures up. I don't know, but from what I seen, it don't seem like he was really pressed for nothing. It makes sense of them to pull out after being shot in the drive. That's what I'm saying, right? Because think about it, right? After he assaulted her, they didn't run. The assailants, after they shot her and did all that, Boog was able to get back in the car. They did not run off. Mr. Cameron proceeded to pull out, go to the hospital, and they shot at the car multiple times after it pulled off. Y'all see what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident, and they scattered after the assault. No, he continued to shoot at the car after it pulled off. The witnesses had verified that. In police reports, they said they heard 2 to 3 gunshots after the car pulled off. That's what make it seem like it was way more personal. Because if you shot her, it makes sense for them to pull out. Yep. Because listen, Derek, it makes sense. If it wasn't personal and it was just a random robbery, man, they getting little. After people hit licks and rob, they not standing around and shooting the car after it pull off. That's never been done in history. Name one person who done robbed somebody and stood there after the robbery. It don't make sense. It had to be personal, where he continued to shoot at her after shooting her in the chest. Reports say 3 times, 2 times, 1 time. That's the part I'm still in the middle with, y'all. I need to see. Some people saying they saying 3 and it's 2, 1 time. I don't really know. I haven't seen no proof of how many times she was actually shot. I know y'all say 3. I read a report that said once, but it wasn't from the police. It was just an article. I don't know how many times she got shot, y'all. But the thing is, it was he overdid it, Mr. Kyson, which made it seem like it wasn't a random robbery. It was set up, and Boog was the target. She was the target. And it was personal. Whatever Mr. Kyson had beef with Boog on, she got shot 2 times in the chest, right? But look how long, y'all, look how Mr. Cameron had to be speeding to save her life. Think about it. What did she get shot with? Did they say what weapon it was? A 38, a 9, a 25? Mr. Cameron, I believe, really tried to save her life, because if y'all think about it, Boog fought and held on. He had to run every stop sign and every light. 2 bullet shots to the chest. She 5'1", 110, 115 pounds. Right. They never said what gun. I wonder why they won't release the gun, the weapon that she was shot with. But whatever it was, Boog was a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like Miss Wanda said, she was feisty. She was a fighter. Boog fought all the way till she got to the hospital. That's what made me believe two gunshot wounds to the chest. Mr. Lockhart tried to save her life. He tried to get her. You could tell. I GPSed it from Dorp Place to Mount Carmel Hospital. In order for her to still hold on the way that she held on with them two gunshot wounds to the chest and was still able to get out that car and walk into the hospital. Yeah, I don't believe. I don't know why. If possible, I would love to find out if Mr. Lockhart stayed with her at the hospital or if he left. That's a big part of the puzzle. But when you really look at it, it does seem like he really tried to save her life. But my thing is, Mr. Kyson had to have a personal vendetta with Boog because Mr. Lockhart wasn't shot. Cameron didn't get shot. He did get assaulted. I read a police report that said he did get assaulted as well. They pistol whipped him too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you really look at it, because I was like everybody else when the story first broke. Like I told y'all from the beginning when I started covering this story, I try to look at it from both sides of view, everybody's sides of view. That's why I just couldn't go so hard on Mr. Cameron because I would feel guilty trying to do the right thing and putting this man in the fire if he had nothing to do with it at all. That's why I have to give y'all both sides of the spectrum. People do believe he has something to do with it, and a lot of people don't believe he has something to do with it. But when you look at the evidence, he's not a suspect. He's not in custody. He did everything he could to get her to the hospital. A group of men surrounded them with guns. What possibly could he have done besides rush her to the hospital to save her life? Only thing we just don't know is if he went into the hospital with her or he left her. Because when the story first broke, I was upset on how he just gonna leave her. He left her. But then it was like, ain't no proof that he left her. We don't know. People from Columbus saying that he left her. Some people saying he had warrants and stuff. Somebody who was close to him said he left the hospital. Nobody has vouched and said that he stayed at the hospital. So until that come to light, I'm not just gonna throw him under the bus when it's actually looking like he did everything he could to try to save her. And just because a person not in custody now don't mean it may not come down the line. So we can't say that. You know what I mean? We don't know the role, but we do know that he was pistol whipped along with Boog. He didn't get shot. Mr. Kyson had a personal vendetta with Boog. And it makes it seem like it wasn't about the drug transaction. It's starting to seem like allegedly it's about this female. It's about this female because this looking like a love triangle in a way because why is she following Mr. Kyson on Instagram? That goes to show either all of them was friends or it was some kind of love triangle went bad or something. But it's starting to look like it ain't no drug transaction. I don't. If it was a drug transaction, what would be the point in shooting up the car after it pulled off? If it's a drug transaction gone bad, okay, let me get that. We out, blah, 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 we gone. We gonna disappear. No, they let Mr. Lockhart pull off and proceeded to shoot at the vehicle after it pulled off. That don't seem like drug transaction kind of work. It don't. It don't. It seems like it's something personal. Either he was jealous or envious of Boog or Boog cut him off or about this female. Because the other group ain't came that they don't have the other suspects, the other people that was in that group. But if all of them was armed with guns, I don't understand why they not in custody with Mr. Kyson. I don't. Nobody broke it up. Nobody stopped it. It don't seem like nobody stopped it. The neighbors said they didn't see nothing. They heard multiple gunshots. Was Mr. Kyson the only one shooting at the vehicle when it pulled off multiple times? Because we know he assaulted Boog and she was shot. But condolences to her family too. Condolences. This is unfortunate. This is senseless and it's sad and it is most definitely a fine case of backdooring. Somebody backdoored Boog. Somebody backdoored her. This was set up. This was not just random. They did not just pull up over there for all that to go down. Nah. She was lured over there. Her and Mr. Cameron, so they went over there for a reason. Maybe dude wanted to talk to her about the female, or Maybe they just wanted to rob her, try to act like it was about some weed or something, and it went left. We don't know. But as the story is unfolding, this whole information with this little girlfriend, it's starting to look a whole nother way, y'all. What y'all think? What do y'all think? It's looking real suspicious now.
Pleasant Carmel East Hospital.
Well, this looking suspicious, but
that's
y'all know
the name of the
saying.
hospital. Mount Carmel East Hospital is where they sit. So look how far. If she got shot back here, right? Look at it, right? So if she got shot back here, you telling me she walked all the way down this street? Hold on,
and
y'all,
the news not showing them other houses. They only showing certain houses on the news on this Dork Place Street.
So she walked all the way down there. Look how long that walk is. Keep going.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I believe that too, Derek, because it's just how the story and the information is unraveling.
Look how far of a walk that is, though. I'm just saying, y'all get the point.
This is when they're trying to say she walked to the hospital.
And then still got to turn down other streets and other corners? That ain't making sense.
That don't make sense. Because they kept saying like, oh, she walked herself to the hospital. Like, hell no.
Immerse yourself in directing, editing, and cinematography to get your degree. Guys, we can't.
It was like, what was his vendetta with Boog, Mr. Kyson?
She had a lot of potential. She used her pain.
What was his motive? Fuel. What was the reason?
She had a backstory
to do her like that.
She modeled for Chris Brown clothing line, Black Pyramid. She was a model for Rob Kardashian sock line. Went to prison, got out, struck a deal with Atlantic. Struck a deal with Atlantic. All that pain, she beat the odds. She beat the odds. And it's unfortunate that we had to lose Boog behind some people that was just cowards and just couldn't get their own back. What was the reason why they targeted her? Because it was an easy lick because she was a female?
So now, with that being said, now we know about the two addresses that is connected to Mr. Kyson on Dork Place, right? But here's the thing. Whose hair was she going to go do? Was that all excuse to get her out the house? Boog was a real one. She most definitely was. She most definitely was. That's why I go so hard for her. I go so hard for Boog. I get tired of these female. Oh, hey, Daily Tri-State. I love you too. Hey. It's like, that's why I go so hard for her, because why is it that a lot of female artists seem to just go unnoticed when things happen to them? Like Alicia Morel, for instance. Female artists do not get enough coverage for some reason when tragedy strikes. So with me being a female, I said, you know what? I'm standing up for these ladies in these backdoor plays that's going on with these women. Not just artists, but songwriters, movie writers, any woman that is on the right track and doing the right thing with her life. I'm going to speak up or try to get some kind of justice for these women, because we just don't have a lot of women staying on top of these stories with our African American women. They constantly going missing and kidnapped. Their organs coming up missing, and they just go unnoticed. So I said, you know what? I'm going to bring some street hood journalism to YouTube and bring people into our world and how we think and our lifestyle, because it's a lot of things that go on in our community that seem to go unnoticed. Hey, 420 East, I'm praying for you, big bro. I hope you all right. You said you got some state level work about to be handled for Boog. We working these elected officials. Gang, Daily Tri-State. And shout out to you, Daily Tri-State, too, with that whole putting together the whole the street name for Boog and the murals on the walls in local, cities and states. Big up to you. Big up to you. Y'all go and check Daily Tri-State out on Instagram when y'all get a chance. He's reaching out to people to do murals, and artists is reaching out to him as well. So when people travel, we could see murals of Boog around the world in different places. I think that's dope. I don't think nobody ever did that before. I'm glad you're doing all right, big bro, because I was worried about you, 420 East.
It took 4 or 5 gunmen. And then here's the thing. The dude she was with, the 25-year-old, he didn't get shot. So how is it that the car got shot up? She got shot 5 times, but the driver never got hit.
Boom. This is when it first happened, right? So we thinking like, okay, this had to be a back door because, well, we know it's a back door, but this is the part that made the people in Columbus, before we even knew that Mr. Kyson was her killer, we was thinking it was Mr. Lockhart because he didn't get shot or nothing like that. It was like, okay, this is too suspicious. How all this trauma happened to her, but nothing happened to him. That's how we was thinking originally before all the other information started coming out about the female. Because from day one they kept saying the female, but I kept overlooking that. From the time I started covering this story, everybody kept saying this female. It was about a female. It was about a female. Then they switched it over to this whole drug transaction, which I found to be, it kind of ain't holding no weight. You know what I'm saying? Everybody I talk to is like, nah, Boog ain't sell no weed. So I was asking people like, well, do Mr. Lockhart sell weed? They like, nah, not that we know of. So I'm like, what the hell? Where's this drug transaction story coming from?
Because he set her up. It was a setup. And it was a person that she thought had love for her. And that person to me is looking like the fall guy. I'm not going to bag up off this story. I'm going to cover some more. It's just the beginning. And from the stuff I found already, it ain't making sense.
So the media was going to make it look like, that's why I said it was all set up to me in a way to make Mr. Lockhart look like he was the fall guy because he was the last one with her. That's why I said all of this was planned and all of this was set up. They just did not go on Dirt Place just to be going on Dirt Place. Either the girlfriend set the back door up or it had to be the assailants that set the back door up, because can't nobody explain to me for the life of me why is the girlfriend following her killer on Instagram still. That don't make no sense. Mr. Kyson been in jail since May or June or something. Now, one minute they saying May, June, then he got arrested the other day. The reports I'm saying is that he been arrested. He been in custody for at least a month now or a little bit more. So with all this being said, I'm quite sure the family knew before we knew, because the police told the family, I'm quite sure, Miss Wanda, whatever. But how is the girlfriend knowing that this dude that killed your whole girlfriend, but you following him on Instagram the other day? That's, y'all, this ain't adding up. It's starting to look like they tried to make Cameron look like he was the fall guy because he was the driver. He took her to the hospital. He was the last one who seen her living. I didn't know. I didn't check the emails yet. So I'm like, well, damn. It's starting to look like Mr. Lockhart really did try to save her. If she got shot in the chest 1, 2 times, 3 times, y'all know where we going with that part. But listen, she held on as long as she could. That ride from Dorp Place to Mount Mount Carmel East Hospital in a car is between 10 and 14 minutes. It could be shorter depending on the route Mr. Lockhart took. He had to run every stoplight, every stop sign to get her to the hospital because Boog didn't pass till moments later after she got to the hospital, which means Cameron did everything in his power to save her life. He really tried to get her to the hospital. So at this point, y'all tell me how y'all feel. My stuff is about to die. I got 5%. Thank y'all for joining the live. Email me, pipelinenews2020@gmail.com with any information, any emails, any details you want to discuss. I will keep it private if you want me to, but we have to continue this. The stuff with this girlfriend, I'm about to get all over this because this ain't making sense for her to be following Boog's killer on Instagram. Allegedly. I haven't seen the reports that's coming back saying that, though. Allegedly. The whole deal with the chain situation. The whole deal with her allegedly dating somebody else now. Not saying people can't move on, but Boog just died. Like, man, it's looking real fishy, y'all. It's looking real fishy. The group assailants, we still got to get into that, too, with that group, because they said it was a group. We know a group is not one person. It's not 2 people. A group is 3 or more. So could it possibly been 5 people on the scene? Boog, Mr. Lockhart, and 3 other people or 4 other people that approached the car? We looking at 5 or 6 people on this crime scene. But whatever happened, Mr. Kyson, mother or whoever, somebody live on Dorp Place, him and the sisters and them. So why would you commit something like this where you live at, y'all, it's still we got stuff we got to put together. We got stuff we got to put together. And until next time, y'all, thank y'all for joining to the line. I'll catch y'all next time. I'm out of here.